Y'all, it might be happening. The Lowe's reunion that everybody wanted for Jimmie Johnson's final race in the 2027 Daytona 500 and the iconic number 48 just went from a long shot to looking almost possible. And it happened in the span of one afternoon, of all places, social media. So here's what went down. On Monday, the official Lowe's Twitter account posted a public message aimed straightly at Ally Racing and Carvana Racing, two brands already tied to Johnson's farewell car, asking them, hey, do you need an ally for the last ride, and telling them to check their DMs. Within minutes, Ally fired back, let's build something together, which is a Lowe's tagline. Carvana dropped the eye emoji, and Jimmie Johnson himself replied that he would start a group chat. Now, remember, this is barely a week after Johnson was on SiriusXM and called a Lowe's return too far of a reach. So today we're going to be breaking down how the dream reunion suddenly got real, why every party jumped in this fast, and what it would actually mean to see the Lowe's branding back on a 48 car at Daytona. The most important thing to understand about this story is how quickly the mood flipped. Over a week ago, Jimmie Johnson was doing the responsible thing. He was tempering expectations. On SiriusXM, he acknowledged, look, he and Rick Hendrick have tried for years to make a Lowe's reunion happen, and it had come up short, and he flatly called it too far of a reach. That is the kind of comment a driver makes when a door is closed. Might as well put a deadbolt on it. So when Lowe's account suddenly went public this week, it did not read like a routine marketing tweet. It read like the door was being kicked back open and that deadbolt went flying over Grandma's head. Now, what Lowe's actually did was smart and a little cheeky. Rather than quietly work the phones and then make a big announcement, the brand made an interest impossible to ignore by tagging Ally Racing and Carvana Racing directly, the two sponsors already attached to Johnson's final ride, and playing on the word Ally itself. I mean, that's just genius. Telling them to check their DMs turned a private business conversation into a public viewing. It was like back in the day when they did all sorts of stuff in the public. And it put gentle pressure on everyone involved to respond in front of a whole fan base. In a sport that Justin March just described as a storytelling business, this was brand telling a story on purpose. The responses are the part that should get fans excited because of how fast and how warm they were. Ally did not hedge or deflect. It replied, let's build something great together, which is as clear as a green light as I've seen. I think this is going to happen. I think this should happen. I think that Jimmie not having Lowe's on the 48 when he retired to begin with in 2018, he had Ally on the card. That was a shame. He honestly stayed in the sport a year too long. His return has been what it is, right? The guy's out of his prime. He's not in Hendrick equipment. He's not with Chad Knaus, yada, yada, yada. But the idea that he could come back and put on the Lowe's colors again and have that 48 on there and go out, that's pretty interesting. And I'm hopeful that it will happen.